Okay, so let's get to story number three, and this is where the show. I mean, there were two big shows last night, and we had to choose. When I say we, Kyle and myself and everybody had to choose, was it going to be one show or the other show? So the first show I'm referring to is the season finale of The Last of Us, and The Last of Us was just a incredible, incredible show. Um, I just watched it today. Matter of fact, I literally by the time you guys watch this, you'll hopefully have seen the live stream that Kyle and I talked about, The Last of Us, um, and what our thoughts on it were. Um, it was really good. I mean, I played the game, so I kind of was. I don't want to say it was anticlimactic, but it was as I said in the stream. There was a lot of gameplay in there. I mean, there were a lot of cutscenes. This shot here with the giraffe, and there was a whole other piece. They actually trained real giraffes for this. I didn't read the piece, and I was going to do it, but they actually trained real giraffes. Um, I mean, there was a $10 to $15 million production budget on every single episode, and you could definitely tell where it went. Um, so it was one of those things where um, it just works. So this comes from Variety once again. And The Last of Us closed its first season with yet another triumph, with an audience of 8.2 million people for episode 9. This series broke its own viewership record, a significant feat, considering that the finale was released during the ABC's telecast of the Oscars. So last week, I should say this: last week they actually put out a and our HBO Max came out and said they got 8.1. So this was a little bit more than last week's episode. A combination of the Nelson numbers and first-party data from Warner Brothers Discovery. This number accounts for those who tuned in to the Sunday night airing of HBO's cable channel, as well as streams on HBO Max throughout the night. WBD, Warner Brothers Discovery, also shared the first 6 episodes of the series are now averaging 30.4 million viewers, including ongoing viewership past initial airings, with episode 1 approaching 40 million total viewers in the weeks since its debut. Think about that, guys. 40 million people. That's incredible. What other show do you know that's going to get 40 million people to tune in? That just tells you something. You get good storytelling, production value all day long. Um, in Europe and Latin America, The Last of Us has become the most watched show in HBO Max's history. This isn't the first time that The Last of Us has outdone itself while competing with a major awards show. Episode 4, entitled Please Hold My Hand, brought in 7.5 million viewers when it aired at the same time as the Grammys, which was then a season high, or a series high. Preliminary ratings for the Oscars are expected later Monday, and we're going to get to those in just a few minutes. When The Last of Us debuted in January, it trailed House of the Dragon to become the second most watched HBO premiere in over a decade with 4.7 million viewers. Think about that, too. 4.7 million viewers. Um, that's incredible. What I'm trying to think of something else that actually had almost 5 million people tune in for the series premiere. It is. I don't watch a lot of TV, but I can't imagine they were really plugging this on doing spots. They might have, but um, so let's see. Um, Episode 2 marked HBO's biggest ever increase between a series first and second episode with 5.7 million. That means they got an extra million people to tune in from episodes 1 to 2. And they were both slow. what I mean by that is they were telling the story of, they weren't bad episodes. They were slow and they were giving backstory. The show then brought in 6.4 million viewers with episode 3. So for Billstown, that's what it was called, or um, a long, long time. This the Linda Ronstadt. It basically, that was, I think that was the best episode myself. On WB, Warner Brothers also released new data about episodes 5 through 7, which was previously unavailable. Episode 5 was viewed by 11.6 million people, which, though impressive, Variety is not considering its series high due to its untraditional release. Because the episode's originally scheduled Sunday night airing was to coincide with the Super Bowl, HBO opted to release it on the Friday, which I could completely understand. I mean, they were, going to get smashed against the Super Bowl. Therefore, the figures point to viewership across the entire weekend from February 10th to 12th instead of one night. Episodes 6 and 7 were viewed by 7.8 and 7.9 million people, respectively. I know these are a lot of numbers, but this is necessary to go through. The most comparable series in terms of viewership has been season 1 of The House of the Dragon, which aired last year. And though The Last of Us hasn't managed to outperform House of the Dragon, the former has managed a steeper week to week trajectory than the latter. House of the Dragon season averaged 29 million viewers, a number that counts continuous viewership past initial airings. Now, what I'll say is this: the reason why I think House of the Dragon did all those numbers is because that that had many other seasons behind it, right? It's not like this was a brand new, out of the box, pristine series. There had been several other. There had been 8 other seasons of Game of Thrones. So, and I think the combination of that, I think the combination of, I watched every episode. I did not care for season 8 at all. People wanted to see what they were going to do. Um, I think there were a lot of things, and it was streaming. You know, I think there were a lot of really, really important contributing factors to it. So, um, but yeah, so beginning with 4.7 million viewers and ending with 8.2 million. So think about that, guys. They gained almost 3.7, almost 3.5 million viewers. The viewership of The Last of Us soared 75% throughout season 1. That's incredible. That's incredible. By contrast, House of the Dragon was viewed by 10 million people with episode 1, 10.2 million with episode 2, and 9.3 for the season finale. So, and I'm going to stop reading because these are all numbers. I don't want to bore you guys. But the point is this, okay? This is unbelievable. The numbers this particular show did was uncanny. And it really goes to show you too about the story, because even though the game, this will be the 10th anniversary of The Last of Us, and it's sold over, I think, 10 or 12 million copies. As a matter of fact, I think the PC, it's coming to PC in just a couple of weeks. But nonetheless, this was just a remarkable turn of events. And I can't be happier. Not only for Neil Druckmann, not only for Craig Mazin, but now they've given a template to every single streaming service that's story driven. So it's going to be interesting to see. I mean, the anticipation for season 2 is through the roof. I got to be honest. Um, if they were smart, and they are all a bright bunch of people, I think you dropped something on the anniversary of The Last of Us Part 2. And that is, we're going to be doing a video on that. That'll be 3 years that'll be out. It was released in 2020. I want to say it's June 27th. Don't quote me on that. But incredible, incredible stuff. Um, as far as the episode is concerned, I really liked it. It was a lot of gameplay, as I said, cutscenes type of thing. I can't wait for season two. And by the way, I know I was talking with a couple viewers today. If you haven't played the second game, go play it. Hopefully, you haven't been spoiled by now. But if you haven't, if you don't know it and you haven't, go play it. I call it a perfect game, and I did a whole 4-part series on why, and you can find that um, you can find those videos there. It's a fascinating game. Anyway, guys, what do you think about this? What did you think about the viewership of this? Did you think that it could have done more because of the Oscars, or did you think had hit its high? And let me ask you this, guys: what do you think the ratings for season two is going to be? How many do you think they're going to get for the season premiere of that? Leave all your thoughts down in the comment section, and I'll get back to everybody.